where small pieces of history can sometimes turn into life-changing treasures. Today we are going to talk about a coin that almost every American has held in their hands, the 1981 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance it may look like just an ordinary copper coin, but in reality this penny carries a rich history and in some cases it can be worth a surprising amount of money in today's market. The story of the 1981 Lincoln cent begins with its design. On the front, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln created by Victor David Brenner, a design first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. For over a century this image has remained one of the most iconic in American coinage. On the back of the 1981 penny, we see the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., a design that was first used in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This makes the 1981 penny part of a special chapter in U.S. coin history. Now let's talk about why this particular year is so interesting. The 1981 penny was among the very last years struck with a composition that was mostly copper, about 95% copper and 5% zinc. That's important because after 1982 the U.S. Mint switched to a cheaper composition of mostly zinc with just a thin copper coating. So when you hold a 1981 Lincoln penny, you're actually holding one of the last true copper cents ever made for circulation. This adds a bit of historical and collector's value. Billions of these pennies were minted in 1981, with production from both Philadelphia and Denver. Because there were so many made, the majority are only worth their face value or perhaps a few cents more in circulated condition. But here's where things get exciting. Collectors are always looking for high-quality coins that have been preserved in mint state condition with sharp details, bright luster, and little to no wear. A 1981 penny graded in top condition by professional grading services can easily sell for several $100s. Even more fascinating are the rare errors and varieties from this year. Some 1981 pennies feature a double die obverse, where parts of the design, like the lettering or Lincoln's profile, appear doubled under magnification. These error coins are highly sought after and can sell for hundreds, or even thousands depending on the grade and visibility of the doubling. Another important variety from 1981 is the difference between the small date and large date styles, especially from the San Francisco Mint proof coins. Some of these proofs with clear, sharp details can command very strong prices in today's market. So what about the current market value? In circulated condition, most 1981 pennies are still only worth 1 cent to perhaps 5 or 10 cents if they are in better shape. But in uncirculated mint state grades, they can range anywhere from a few dollars up to around $100 for superb examples. The rare double die errors can bring in several hundred to even $1,000. And proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, especially the small date variety, can be valued at several $100s when graded at the highest levels. Imagine that, a coin you may have overlooked in your change could actually be worth far more than you expected. That is the magic of coin collecting, where history, rarity, and condition combine to create hidden treasures. So next time you come across a 1981 Lincoln penny, take a closer look. Check the date, examine the details, and if you see something unusual like doubling or if the coin is in exceptional condition, you might just be holding a valuable piece of history. Many people have turned pocket change into profit simply by paying attention to these small details. The 1981 penny is not just a coin, it is a reminder of America's history, of Lincoln's legacy, and of the transition from true copper cents to the modern zinc coins we know today. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting out, searching for these gems can be both exciting and rewarding. So keep your eyes open, keep your pennies safe, and who knows, maybe the next 1981 Lincoln cent you discover will be the one that adds a little extra wealth to your life. Happy hunting, and may your coin collecting journey always bring you joy and prosperity. Where every small coin can hide a fortune waiting to be discovered. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating history and value of the 1970 Lincoln penny, a coin that might look ordinary in your change but could actually be worth thousands of dollars if you know what to look for. The Lincoln cent has been a part of American history since 1909, created to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, the design became a powerful symbol of American heritage, with the portrait of Lincoln on the front and the famous Lincoln Memorial or wheat ears on the reverse, depending on the year. In 1970, the United States Mint produced millions of these pennies at both the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints, and while most of them are only worth a cent, certain rare variations and errors from this year are worth a small fortune today. The 1970 Lincoln penny holds a special place in coin collecting history because of a famous error known as the 1970s small date penny. At first glance, it looks just like any other cent, but the details in the date make all the difference. On the small date version, the number 7 sits higher and the word Liberty looks weak, while on the large date version the numbers are bolder and more even. Collectors have been chasing after the small date variety for decades because it is much scarcer than the regular issue. In high grades, especially if certified by professional grading companies, these coins have sold for thousands of dollars at auction. But that is not the only treasure hidden among the 1970 pennies. Error coins from this year are incredibly valuable as well. Some pennies were struck off-center, meaning the design is shifted to one side, and collectors pay big money for clean examples of these mistakes. Others were double-struck or even had doubled dies, where the letters and numbers appear doubled under magnification. The most famous doubled die from 1970 shows on the obverse with clear doubling in the word Liberty, and in the motto In God We Trust. A rare double-die penny in pristine condition can fetch several $1,000s or more, depending on how dramatic the doubling appears. Now let's talk about the current market value. A regular 1970 penny from circulation is of course worth only 1 cent, and even in uncirculated condition the large date version might sell for just a few dollars. However, the 1970s small date penny can bring in hundreds of dollars in mint state grades, and the rare proof versions are even more valuable. If you are lucky enough to find one graded MS-67 or higher, you could be holding a coin worth over $3,000. The record auction sales for these pennies have crossed the $5,000 mark. For double die examples, the prices can climb even higher, especially if the coin has been well preserved with its original mint luster. Imagine the excitement of going through your old coin jars, a box in the attic, or even loose change from the bank and finding one of these valuable treasures hiding among ordinary cents. That is the thrill of coin collecting. Every penny has a story, and the 1970 Lincoln cent carries with it a history of minting challenges, varieties, and errors that make it one of the most sought-after coins for collectors across America. So before you spend that old penny, take a close look. Check the date carefully, study the details under a magnifying glass, and if you think you may have found something rare, get it professionally graded. It could be worth more than you ever imagined. The next time someone tells you that a penny is just a penny, you can smile knowing that the 1970 Lincoln cent has proven time and time again that even the smallest coin can carry a huge value. From thousands of dollars at auction to becoming the centerpiece of private collections, this little coin has made a big impact in the world of numismatics. Thank you for watching Rare Coins World. Stay curious, keep searching, and maybe the next life-changing coin is already in your pocket. Until then, happy hunting and may your coin collection continue to grow in both history and value.